How clever and how pretty are the comments you'll get on these projects. Use what you have laying around the house to complete these in an afternoon. Just a few supplies and you'll have decorative and useful containers. Here are the supplies that you'll need. Glass or plastic containers, pretty much any size or shape will do. Here I'm using a glass fishbowl shape and a cylindrical vase. Have some window cleaner and a paper towel handy. Along with some cord. And actually, bulky yarn or clothesline or even hemp rope would work just as well. You'll need a hot glue gun and extra glue sticks, along with a pair of old craft scissors. Then choose some things to decorate with, like silk flowers, themed buttons, assorted buttons, charms, or seashells. Begin by removing any stickers and then spray some cleaner on a paper towel and clean both the outside and inside of the containers well. Open up the package of cord or rope. Probably the hardest part of this whole project was trying to find the end of the cord. Cut the end of the cord at an angle. Place a small amount of hot glue and then place the pointed end of the cord downward so the next row will cover up that end. Working in small sections, place a bead of hot glue at the very top of the container and set the cord into the glue, aligning the cord with the very top of the container. Work in very small sections to begin with, and be very careful because the glue is hot. Continue with subsequent rows, one under the other, wrapping the cord all the way around the container. I think you'll find it's very relaxing just to take and glue and wrap that cord around the container. Continue row after row, placing glue below the previous row of cord and butting the new row to the last. At the bottom of the container, wrap the cord all the way to the end of the container, even with the bottom. When you can wrap no further, trim the cord at an angle and glue it in place. The rows should be as close together as possible and smooth around the container. Next, choose the items to decorate the container. I'm going to start with these little seashells. My mother-in-law has a summertime beach theme going on in her guest bath, and this will be perfect for her. Sort through the shells to determine what kind of pattern is possible. It can be anything from random placement to a very detailed design. I'm going to do something simple. Continue on with the planned design, placing glue and then a shell. There were only a few larger shells in this package and many little ones, so I decided to do 4 large shells and then smaller ones around those. I think my mother-in-law is going to really like this. Another thing to do is make dual use of the container. One decoration on one side and then something else on the other. For the other side, I'm going to put some silk daisies. To do this, just remove the flower heads from the stem and then determine the placement. You may have to clip off the back of the flower to make it lie flat on the container. Place hot glue on the back of the flower head or directly on the cord. Hold the flower in position for a few seconds to let the glue set. Clip off the back of the next flower, place glue, and then position. I'm just doing these in a row because I have some pussy willows to put in this container for springtime. This is so cute and so easy. Now, I have supplies left from another project and some cord left, so I'm going to do another pot for the kitchen. Begin as before, gluing the rope to the container, beginning at the top. Before I get too far, I want to remember that I'm going to be gluing a few rows of gems around the bottom. I have to keep that in mind as I continue wrapping. I'm going to continue wrapping until I think I'm at the point where the top of the gems will be. Stop wrapping when you think you're close, but don't trim that cord yet until after the gems are placed. After the gems are placed, start again in line where the wrapping began. Grab some gems, turn the container over so the bottom is facing up. Place hot glue on the back of the gem and place it on the container. The edge of the gem should be in line with the bottom edge of the container. Working in a row, place glue on another gem and nestle it next to the first. Work all the way around the bottom of the container, gluing gems. Now, working in the same manner, glue the next row of gems on. Add glue sticks to the glue gun as needed. Work in the third row of gems, gluing and butting them to the previous row. I think that's enough gems at the bottom, so it's time to finish up the wrapping. Pick up the wrapping of the cord from where it was left off. Just continue gluing and wrapping until you can't wrap anymore. Then trim the end of the cord at an angle. Place a dab of hot glue on the container and press the end of the cord into the glue and hold it to set. There are a few more gems left, just enough to put around the top of the container. Working around the top of the container, place a dab of glue at the underside of the gem and then glue it at the top of the container, right on top of the cord. Be sure that the top of the gem is even with the top of the container. Isn't this a great way to get new life out of an old container? It's fun to do new projects with things around the house and leftover items from other projects. Remember, these containers can be themed with many things, from buttons to shells, flowers to gems, and everything else in between. Why not even try some old nuts and screws to decorate one for a man cave? I'm keeping this container to hold utensils in my kitchen.